Hey there, you little Potterheads. How's it going? To new Potterheads, welcome. And to returning Potterheads, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 really cool things that Hogwarts Legacy could do. Without further ado, it is time to be extraordinary. At number 1, we have Aberforth Dumbledore. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but at least for me, I think it still would be nice to have at least a bit of a connection to the original Harry Potter series in a game like this. Not too much of it, just so that I can remember this is in the same world as the books I loved when I was reading and growing up. Sentence! As I was saying, I think that Avalanche has set itself up perfectly so that they can bring in a fresh new perspective with this game. Let's say that you decide after graduating Hogwarts or something, however they choose to use the timeline, that you want to go back and teach at Hogwarts, because obviously that's going to be a viable career that you can choose. I don't know, maybe Aberforth Dumbledore comes in and he becomes your student, and maybe you grow a deep connection with him, and he starts coming to you to talk about stuff, because, as we remember, Aberforth had a lot of beef with his brother, Dumbledore, because Dumbledore was getting into some stuff that Aberforth was really not okay with, that was putting Ariana Dumbledore into trouble, and I think that this is a perfect opportunity to get a bit of a fresh new perspective in terms of that little dynamic. I mean, think about it, right? We already, understand where Dumbledore was coming from. We understand where Grindelwald was coming from. That's the main thing. But I personally would really love to see Aberforth's point of view on this particular topic a bit more. I don't know. I mean, let me know how you guys feel about it in the Patronus section, but I think that would be really awesome. At number 2, I think we could go in a completely different direction with the Hogwarts houses. Think about it. We've got a time where none of the characters that we know and love from the original series were even born. They were probably negative 100-ish years old, something like that. I think this is a really good time to just completely wipe out that whole stereotype where Gryffindor is good, Slytherin is bad, Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff are there, and show that we don't really have to stereotype everybody in the Hogwarts houses. We could actually say that each Hogwarts house has its own individual pros and cons and strengths and weaknesses, because that's how it actually is. We could make, maybe toss a bad guy into Ravenclaw and make the good guys from Slytherin, or something like that. I don't know, depending on which Hogwarts house you choose to come from. We could rewrite all of that, and it would be so much better for it. At number 3, I think it would be a great idea if we just didn't have the overall, big baddie sort of thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like Voldemort. He's a big bad guy, and he needs to be stopped. I think that's, especially in this time that we're talking about, where there's no Voldemort, there's no Grindelwald, there's no, really looming danger that has been pre-established. I think this would be a great time to maybe, dive more into all the different magical careers that you can have, and then, I understand that this probably takes a lot more time to develop, but maybe have, a special curated storyline for each of the individual careers that you can choose. Obviously, I know that takes a lot of time. I don't necessarily expect that to be in there. I don't know, I can hope. At number 4, I think it would also be a great idea to maybe not stay in Britain the entire time. I mean, think about it. Let's say you're like an R, and then the ministry has to send you off to Lithuania. Think about how cool that would be to experience an entire new culture of wizards that are in Lithuania, Romania, Bulgaria, I don't know, Germany, France, any of those places. That would be super sick, especially with the whole thing with graduating from Hogwarts and choosing your career. This is the perfect time to do it. As far as I have looked into stuff, there's practically no restraints in terms of letting characters go to different places other than the few places that we've either been immersed in or have had glimpses of, that would be so awesome. Especially because this game is called Hogwarts Legacy. I imagine there's gonna be like a small bit of it that is actually at Hogwarts. I could be completely wrong about that, but that's just my impression, and I think that there is no better way to make your Hogwarts Legacy than to go out to like foreign countries and to do awesome stuff and to just like, I don't know, experience all of Europe, maybe even go to Asia if you want to. That's most definitely probably not gonna happen, but still would be really cool. So I don't know, maybe that's like a possibility. That's probably what they already have in mind, because this is not really like an original idea that I'm having right now, but yeah, we'll just have to see. And at number 5, I don't know, this is blatantly obvious, but you've got a big timeline Avalanche software, so just play with it. Saying late 1800s is about as ambiguous as Snape saying, turn to page 394 and read stuff. There is a lot you can do with that. I personally would love to see them start off at like the 1870s, 1880s-ish. Just like do whatever you want, decade jump, so we can see how like the wizarding world like progresses, maybe new spells are invented, Quidditch evolves, we see new students arising, maybe like a few careers jump up, and I think that would also be great for individual character progression as well, because it's like you're spending multiple decades, you've seen a lot of stuff. Again, going back to the whole thing with like becoming a Hogwarts professor, then you can go back and you can tell all about that experience, watch how the kids just like, whoa, my teacher's seen so much stuff. And, you know, all that stuff. Just see how the wizarding world grows around you. That would be really, I think, truly awesome. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to demolish the like button for YouTube algorithm, because in all seriousness, it really does help out the channel. What do you think about this list? Would you have added anything? Would you have removed anything? Make sure to leave all of that along with the 3 C's, comments, constructive criticism, and conversation in the Patronus section down below. As always, remember to subscribe for more totally tubular Harry Potter content, and to join the extraordinary HBY community, as well as ringing the notification bell to stay updated when said totally tubular Harry Potter content arrives. But that's all for now, so stay extraordinary, you little Potterheads. Peace.